Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel the teach. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's going to clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's going to open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is going to protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is going to make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Tej has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night. And because Tej is a sponsor, they're offering my family 30% off along with a free gift. Just click that link that's in the description and feel the Tej.
Maintaining your beard isn't just style, it's self-respect. A well-grown beard boosts confidence and leaves a lasting impression. Elevate your look. Embrace the importance of beard care today.
Going on? What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We can hear you.
Okay. All right. What's going on? Welcome to, let's switch this up real quick. Welcome to How You See It. Welcome to How You See It. We got the panel today. We got Sweeney, Kai, Ma, Share Story to Tell, Marcus, Trina, me, myself. Welcome.
How
You
y'all
know,
doing?
I don't want to mispronounce the name, so that's why I said Ma
I was
and
wondering
Kai.
who
So
Ma was. I was really wondering who was Ma.
It's Militia.
It's Malicia.
Milicia. Okay.
Malaysia. Okay.
You French with it. Okay.
That is
Okay.
Spanish,
See
sir.
ya.
Mm. Okay. Well, Milicia, Trina, and then I guess we had somebody drop off. Kaya dropped off, so I'm gonna need y'all to go and get y'all internet together, man. So we can go ahead and make a great show. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, shout out to the sponsor, T Channel, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. 30% off on the free gift. The link is in the description. Go ahead and get that Assured Man King on top. That link is pinned to the top of the chat. Let's go ahead and get your beer right. If I'm not mistaken, ladies, I know you guys have some masculine hair features as well. So that king on top can serve that purpose for you as well. So if you do rock the masculine face, feel free to go ahead and get that Assured Man. Well, I'm excited today because this is something new that we're trying, and we do have our special guest in the house, Malicia, Kaya, and Trina.
What's
Uh,
up?
I've heard that they are a little bit reserved. So if you're looking for something extra, this might not be the place that you want to be. So you're going to get some pretty modest, laid back, introvert type personality. No, I'm kind of off on that.
I don't think I like that intro. So let's bring it back. Bring it
Okay,
back.
let's
If I need
bring
to
it back.
I mean, I can do it.
Well, I mean, Jay's real good at introductions. This is my first time, so go ahead, Jay.
Come on, Jake. You got to do better than that. Come on.
Oh, put me on the spot. Nah, you say you was about to do it, Milicia? You say
I
you
mean,
was
I
about.
don't mind. It just has to be done right. So I don't mind.
Oh shit.
All right, so
Fine.
show us how it's done so we know how to do it moving forward.
Okay, so what you guys have are the ladies from Time Out 305. I am Alicia J. We also have Aya, and we have Trina. I wouldn't say that we're introverted. Let's take that back. We're definitely not introverted whatsoever. We are three really intelligent, really open women from Miami who are ready to just give our opinions. So let's get it started.
All right.
Gang, gang.
And that's all period.
Okay, well, I have nothing else to add to that, man. I mean, that was that was excellent. That was excellent right there. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just rest in my masculinity over here. Well, again, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Sweeney came up with this topic, man. I got to give it to Sweeney, man. He came up with this topic. He noticed something and thought it would be open for discussion. It'd be a great dialogue to have. So go ahead, Sweeney. Go ahead and set the tone, and I'll run the clip.
I thought you was just gonna run the clip. This ain't my topic. I was just running something by you, man. But
I mean, I know you ran it past me, but it was a angle that you wanted. It was something that you wanted to discuss. I had to be honest about it. It was something that we've all seen, but you highlighted it. So just go ahead and set this tone, so we know what we're walking into. And I got that clip.
I guess if I was to title this segment, it'd be age gap dating. What could they possibly have in common? Something along those lines.
All right, so just kind of briefly explain like why you brought this topic.
It was something that I noticed on the show that we was on Thursday. One of the ladies asked that question. She was like, "A 45-year-old and a 25-year-old, you know what I mean? I don't see why they would ever date, because oftentimes we hear people talk about how these two groups of people can't possibly have anything in common. What could they possibly talk about?" So that's kind of what I want to ask y'all today. And that's where we're going to go from here, about that. So, JR, whenever you're ready, go ahead and roll the clip.
Okay.
I don't know clip because I can't remember exactly when she said it, and I don't think he can either. But that's pretty much what it was based off of.
Okay. Well, I just want to start off by asking the ladies, like, what do you guys think about age gap dating? Like, would you date an older man? Is that something that you have done? Do you guys see it being a problem? I'll start with, go ahead. I mean, either one of y'all can go ahead. I seen Kaya came off. I seen Melissa came off the mic. So any one of you guys can start.
Okay. So for me, I think it can work. I definitely prefer to date somebody a little bit older, even though my boyfriend right now is younger than me. But like in my past, I preferred to date somebody that was a little bit older just because, I'm a woman. I want to date somebody I can learn from. I think once you hit that like 15, 20-year mark and the gap is like a little bit too wide, then it gets weird. Especially when the younger person is in their 20s. So if the younger person is in their 20s, I can only speak for myself. I know I was like very impressionable, easily influenced. Like I really needed that time to kind of come into myself. So if I had been dating a guy that was 45 years old or like way older than me, I just feel like I wouldn't have had that space to grow into myself as a woman, and I would have adapted to whatever it is that he wanted. So I think it gets a little weird depending on how big the gap is. That's just my opinion.
I can say the same. I like older guys. I feel like I can learn from them. In experience where I don't know, older guys a little was always attractive to me. So, and they always, I don't know, find their way to me. But I don't know. I think I learn more from older guys than dating the guys younger than me, because then I don't know, they still have a lot of maturity. Like they still got stuff to get out their system. I'm in the learning stage, so
I honestly feel like being mature in dog years. So I feel like when you're really like, you're supposed to be, I say 35, you're probably still like 21. It takes you a long time to mature. So I always gravitated to older men, but I feel like it's always seemed to be okay when it's older man versus an older woman. Because when it's an older woman, then it's like, oh, you're a cougar. And I don't like that.
So, Melissa, you said something interesting, right? You said that when you were 20, you were far more impressionable, right? And you felt like you would have been molded into who he wanted you as a person rather than coming into your own or whatnot, right? Do you believe that that happens anyway? You know what I mean? As the relationship goes on, you further mold yourself into the type of person that the other person kind of wants you to be. So, for instance, a man that's dating a woman and she likes for the trash to be taken out on a certain day, but he's the one that takes out the trash. Don't you think, like, over a period of time, eventually he would start taking out the trash on that particular day?
Yeah, of course. So my thing is this. Being molded into like the type of partner that you want me to be, that's fine. But I'm gonna be Melissa no matter who I date. So I might adjust how I date you depending on what you like, and I'm studying you, but it's not gonna change who I am as a core person. Like my core values aren't gonna change because I'm dating you. My principles aren't gonna change because I'm dating you. I might just, adjust to the little things that you like. But I feel like in your 20s, you're kind of like figuring out who you are as a woman. You don't even barely know what's right from wrong. So you don't need to be talking to nobody that old unless they're your father.
So where do you think our core values actually come from?
Our parents. Our spiritual leaders, our people who have no how do I put it? No motive other than wanting us to see great. Not because other than wanting to see us be great. Their motive isn't, oh, I want her to be a good wife for me, or I want her to know how to be like sexually free and sexually open. I feel like when you're in a relationship, that person can love you, but ultimately we're all trying to get the best for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Your parents, your spiritual leaders, those people, they want nothing more than for you to be a great person. So I don't think your man should be that for you.
Right. So if you get your core values from your parents, then would you pretty much already have your core values intact by the time you're 21, 22?
just because they're being tested in your 20s. Like, you have them. I feel like when you're younger, yeah, you have them, they instill them in you. But once you hit them 20s, now you're being tested. Now you're trying to figure out, like, okay, was my parents right? Where are they wrong? Like, you just trying to figure too much out to be talking to somebody in their 40s. That's going to literally, I don't want to use the word manipulate, but that's going to end up manipulating you to kind of change and adjust based on what they want.
So when you encounter, people 20 years your senior and y'all are having general conversations and things like that, do you think that you are manipulating them when y'all have these conversations? Like, say for instance, younger friends and things like that, or do you believe that y'all are just an exchanging of thought? And
well, like I just said, it depends on like your motive. If we're in a relationship, that's different. Like, if we're just talking and I meet somebody 20 years my senior and he's just talking to me, that's different. But a man 20 years my senior that wants to see my vagina is going to talk to me differently than a father or a preacher or a pastor. It's a totally different conversation. So yes, if their intentions might not be to manipulate you, but that man wants you to be the type of woman he wants you to be, not necessarily the best woman that you're supposed to be.
do you think that man would approach a 30-year-old any different than he would approach a 21-year-old if he's talking about what he wants in a wife?
Probably not. But a 30-year-old would know how to handle it differently. Like, once you hit your 30s, you've been through all those tests. You've done all of those things. You've had those experiences. So once you hit 30 years old, it's like, okay, I could kind of peep that, or I'm with that program. You have the tools to make a better decision.
So I guess what I'm getting at is if we know that men are pretty much like, they're not gonna, if he's not gonna tolerate bullshit from a 20-year-old, he's more than likely not going to tolerate bullshit from a 30-year-old. So if he's going to pretty much approach both women equally the same. Let's assume we're talking about a good man. We're not talking about somebody that's trying to fuck you over or anything like that. He's just genuinely a man that's just trying to get married, get on down the road, right? If he's not willing, if he's going to approach both of them the same, where's the manipulation?
I don't know why you saying like it's not necessarily that his intentions are to manipulate her. What I'm saying is, when you are that young, you just become, you open yourself up for manipulation. Like, you just so young. Like, anything this man says, you're gonna adjust and adapt. Like, I don't know. You've never been a 20-year-old woman, but I have, and I know based on my experience, I couldn't have dated a 45-year-old man and have the same mindset that I have right now. Like, it wouldn't work for me personally. I needed time. I needed that time to kind of grow into myself and adjust as a woman.
What's the ideal age gap that you would like?
Go ahead.
Anything under 10 years is fine for me.
What about you, Kai and Trina?
I think 10 years too, because like I say, I don't want to date too old or whatever. Like, because I want to be Kaya. I love who to know is to love me. So I don't want to go into something and change everything about me. So in that 10-year age mark, you're gonna meet me, you're gonna learn me, you're gonna love me. So my thing is, I don't. I can, like Lisa said, I can adjust to the things that you like, but I want you to continue to love me for me. Don't change everything my mama instilled in me as a woman, because I'm gonna do my job as a woman I'm gonna be a good woman to you. So what is it that I need? I don't need you to manipulate me to be something, or not even manipulation, because we need to take that word out of it. But I don't want you to try to mold me into somebody that I'm not at this point. Like, I'm me. You're meeting me. So I stick at a 10-year, because I feel like he knows who I am.
Let me ask you. So
wait, hold on.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Not Trina. She was going to answer.
Oh, go ahead.
3 to 7 years is the biggest gap that I think is appropriate when it
3
comes
to 5.
3 to 7.
3 to 7.
Yes.
So you think once it gets past that, then you think it's like what Malicia was speaking of and Kaya was speaking on, like they trying to kind of redirect your core values or possibly undo what your parents kind of instilled?
Not necessarily. I just think that when men like gravitate to younger women, it's because they're easier to like, she doesn't come with responsibilities. She doesn't have that same, like, I have a house, I have mortgage, I have things. You may be able to just do her nails and she's okay with that, and her hair. We got bills. we got things going on. We're trying to like get further in life. So therefore it's like you may want to be with a younger woman because she's easier to be with. Not necessarily manipulate, but it's just like she don't have kids and she don't have this household that she needs to take care of at the end of the day. She might just say, hey, I just want to go out to eat and send me on my merry way.
What do you, if you was a man, which one would you go after based off those scenarios?
I mean, it depends. Like, are you looking for substance? Or are you looking for easy? What are you looking for? Are you looking for what? Are you looking for happiness? Like, it depends on what happiness looks like to you.
Look, I see Melissa and Kaya in the up looking like, oh, shit, girl, you didn't say it was easier to date these younger women. We need to walk this back. Oh no.
It's not even that. It's like, okay, yeah, it might be easier as far as like what financially easier, but I don't think it's easier to date a younger woman. Like I personally, I mean, you guys, maybe you can tell me, you guys are guys, but like I don't think it's easier. It might be financially easier, but when you're young, you are emotional and.
But she young and dumb.
Yeah.
Let me position it this way, because you said that an older woman would come with bills and all of this, right? But typically, if he does pick up a younger woman, he gets married to her, she's still a bill. At the end of the day, like she still has to be taken care of. Eventually, you're gonna have kids with her. That's an additional bill. You're gonna buy a house. That's an additional bill. So,
that's
like
before that, that's stuff he would do for himself. He just bring her along for the ride. But I'm saying, like, she already is established. Like, she already has things that she created herself.
So, are you saying that a man, like, so would you suggest that a man go after someone who has a house and then that person expects him to also pay for her house as well?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
So then he should be looking at them essentially the same then, because her bills shouldn't matter to him because it's not his bills to pay anyway.
Why y'all think that? Because eventually we're trying to become one. That's like if something happens to you, you're my responsibility at this point. Me and you we're together. So my thing is, if you need me and I can do something for you financially, I'm not going to look at it like, oh well, that's your responsibility. No.
Right. No, I'm just going off her logic where she said that a man would be worried about going with the older woman because she already has bills or whatever. So basically I'm just trying to ask, like, well, if she comes with these extra bills, and then I said, well, wouldn't the younger one also be a bill? And she was like, well, yeah, but these are additional bills. Well, if you're dealing with someone who has their own shit, then would it actually be a problem to deal with her because she's been paying her own bills just like I've been paying my own bills? So me going with a 30-year-old woman and choosing a 21-year-old over a 30-year-old wouldn't be based on, oh, well, she got a bunch of bills.
Oh, well, I get what you're saying. My thing, dating a 45-year-old, dating a 21-year-old, he can kind of do, he can, let me not sound gold digger.
It's freaking.
And bird feed her, like, oh, if you don't do this, because you got to remember, some men like the bird feed. And she's still young. She don't know about going to get her own money. Ain't nothing wrong with being independent, but learn how to take care of yourself, because what if this man gets sick? She don't know that. I look at it like a older man trying to date a younger girl. You just want to take that's full advantage of, you can run her house, how you can mold her to that woman you want to become. But my thought on it, why not pick the woman that definitely is going to take care of you? Because you got to look back. I look at when my mom passed, it was a lot of men in the nursing home by themselves. And I'm like, damn, where they family at? You know why? Because they choose the ones that don't really give a fuck about them versus the one who cares. So it's like y'all choose the one that's fun, easy, and y'all ain't got to worry about. And then when she don't know how to do shit.
Do you think it's reasonable to for a man with like, I'm ascribing good intent, right? I understand what you mean by if a man is older, he can manipulate somebody on a negative behalf. But there's an opposite end of that coin, right? Because he can have the best intent possible, and he molding her in order to make her the wife and the woman that he needs to raise a family with. Do you think that's a problem if he molds her to be that?
21-year-old experienced life.
When you say experience life, what you mean? Like dating other people, different sex, travel? Like, what is the?
like to enjoy life because when I know I had my kids fresh out like 19, I didn't get to enjoy my younger childhood, my younger adult years because I had to become a mom. So it was just like you getting somebody fresh off the bench, off the bleachers, off the bench who ain't never played in the game before. Why?
What
That
I
would
that
be the
mean,
what?
would you rather a brand new car or a used car?
I would so
I'm just joking.
Why
I'm
you
No.
just
gotta be
joking.
All
music?
right.
You gotta
So
pick
She
side.
said you get somebody that ain't never been in the game, so I had to flip that analogy.
so
I had to
so what?
flip it. I had to.
So when you say experience life, right?
Mhm.
You don't think that a person can experience life within a relationship?
Yeah, she can, but when you as a woman, like I said, like men, like what Lisa said, I'm a woman at 19, 20, I was still trying to find out who I was, trying to figure out what I like. But when we get into relationships, us women, we don't think about us no more. We think about y'all.
So
Typically, yeah.
I'm oh
so
hold on, I gotta go do this. Oh, wait, he want me to do it. It's like we forget about ourselves. So at 19, 20, and 21, she couldn't even get in the club. She couldn't even do nothing. She couldn't even make her own doctor's appointments, let alone now she's trying to make her be a woman to breeding kids and bringing kids into the play and now cooking and cleaning and no.
so would you so and I get all of that, right? Because me and my wife, because the thing is how I look at it is because I believe in people getting married early,
Uh-huh.
right? So whether age gap or not, so do you think that two 21-year-olds who get married, do you think that's
I think that's fine. So my thing with
but
my
wouldn't
thing,
they but wouldn't they also not experience life at 21?
I don't think they should get married that early either. I have an 18-year-old.
What age do you think? What age do you think people should get married at?
Once they figure out life for themselves, it can take 5 years. 25, 26, 27. That's not old.
So
You're,
what I think the question I asked earlier in regards to somebody with positive intent, right? That planned on building a life. If they've already figured it out and the man essential job is to be the leader of the household, why wouldn't it make sense for that transition to be easier?
this 45-year-old man dating this
That is a
21.
large gap, but
yeah, that's a
But that's what I'm thinking. Like my thing is, it's no way that you have good intentions. Dating somebody that's 21 and you're 45, that is way too big of a gap. You are old enough to be this woman's father. Therefore, that's the approach you're going to take to father her, which in some situations, if you're looking for a leader and all that good stuff, that's fine. But I just feel like when you are 21 years old and you're dating somebody that is 45 years old, it's no way that you're going to have any sense of self. Like, it's no way. That just doesn't even make any sense.
So when most women start to say that they're seeking out a husband, right? Regardless of age. 21 women, 21 to 45. What is one of the main things they say that they want in a man?
I want him to be my daddy. We gonna say leadership. We're gonna say all of that great
hold
stuff.
on, okay. Yeah, Kaya, she looked at you like you don't want him to be your daddy. Cap.
No,
She gave you the cap face when you said that. You
that's
know
why I
she
look
gave
at
you
Kaya when I
she
said it.
gave
That's
you
why I look at her when I said it. I don't want him to be my daddy in that way. Like,
Oh, okay.
honestly,
Yeah,
I'm
have some
not
clarity.
saying don't get married in your 20s. You want to get married in your 20s, fine. Like, you guys together can figure out life and do all that great stuff. What I'm saying is he has way more life experience than you. Like you just don't you don't stand a chance to even like have your own opinions, your own thoughts. Like you are way too impressionable at that age to be dating somebody that much older than you.
Think that they get to a like so using that analogy. I'm sorry, Jay. You go right after this quick question. Do you think that you can get past the age where it's harder for you to function in a relationship? Because I personally believe relationship skills are acquired and grown and learned. But if you spend that time maturing on your own as a single person or just casually dating, I think you're actually behind the eight ball by the time you actually want to have a real relationship, because all you are used to is casual flings. You're an expert at that, but you're not an expert at actually being in a relationship.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's true.
Okay.
Only because I dated my kid's father for a long period of time. Like most of my from the time I had my daughter, conceived my daughter up, and she's 18. So maybe like 7 years ago, we've been broken up. But my thing is, you learn relationships, everything is a learning experience. So you kind of learn how to do things in a relationship. You learn what makes a man happy. My thing is, like you said, when you put that number, I think that's what mine fucked us with 45 and 21. Like when you say that, instantly I'll be like, what the hell do a 45-year-old man want with my little ass? I don't know how to cook, clean, fuck, do none of that. What the hell? Now he finna come on and start acting like now I'm gonna be fucking on my daddy. That's how I'm gonna start thinking something like
Kaya,
that.
keep it a bang. When you was 21 years old, ain't no way in hell you thought you couldn't fuck.
No, if first of all, you got some
Sip, slick.
Ain't no way in hell she thought she
Take a
could.
sip,
She
sip,
thought she
peace,
was.
nigga.
She thought she was laying and slaying them. Ain't no way in hell.
I ain't gonna but I was laying and slaying that shit. But however, I'm saying a 21-year-old who ain't
You don't even know your body yet. You
You
still
don't know-
find out what you like.
But
nothing.
ain't that what y'all supposed to do together?
What,
No,
like,
no old ass man, no.
You know what it is.
Yeah, so I'm not arguing the
Mark.
45.
This
I'm
is the
arguing
reality.
age gap. Baby.
This is the reality, bro. They look at older men as borderline tricks. And that's exactly what their job is. So it's hard to talk to women about age gap dating because in their mind, ain't no way I want anything out of this older man other than some bread. So what does he want from me? And I think that's kind of how a lot, not necessarily the women on the panel, but because y'all aren't the first ones that said this. So I'm thinking when most women think about that age gap, when they look at older men, they see them as tricks. They see them as something that can buy them a few things, that can buy them a drink at the club, that can get them a car if they want to. They willing to be sugar babies and stuff like that. But to be in a serious relationship, they're like, I'm not going to let you manipulate me into becoming something that you want because that's not who I want to be right now.
or they look that as a damn pervert.
See, but that's the thing though, is you can't put that label on someone without actually having evidence that they're perverts. You know what I mean?
And you just think about it. When you 19, 18, you walking, we grew up in the heart of the heart in Miami. And when we used to walk to school, all we would hear is like, hey, look, like I'm in my head, like now he know my mama. Why the fuck he over here? And then he know my granddaddy. Like, nigga, what you finna do with me? You finna take me up and through there and throw my little young ass some McDonald's and send me on my way. No. Leave me alone.
Now I get that. If you're talking about the R. Kelly situation where they sitting outside the high school plotting on women, that's totally different. Like you're purposely looking at 16, 17-year-olds talking about some, man, I can't wait till you grown. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about woman at 21, 22, 23, 24, maybe even 25, go to the club and she meets somebody else and he's 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and they hit it off. I'm not talking about somebody that's purposely going out their way to go outside high schools and hunt down 21-year-old women. I'm not talking about that because I don't think that's how these people tend to interact with one another.
When y'all saying 45 and 21, I don't agree with that larger gap neither. I just don't. So
We doing 20 years. The whole conversation is the 20-year age gap.
20 years, yeah.
My question is, why can't he find a woman in his age range? Why is he like less than 21? Like, why is he like? What's wrong with him?
You sold him earlier on why he should find a younger woman. Using your words.
Because the 45-year-old came with a house, 2 kids, student loan, debt, credit card debt,
responsibility, not moldable.
Not moldable. Don't want to listen to you. They ain't trying to deal with you. She like, I mean,
I'm not gonna let y'all put words in your mouth. Trina ain't say all that.
They are bullying me. That's not what I said. I just feel like a lot of men be intimidated by her having so much already established. They feel like we don't listen to them. Like they're like, oh, she's not gonna listen. She got her own shit. She got her own business. She got her own money. She don't need me. I can't tell her shit because she's too old and too established.
I don't think men assume these women don't listen. I think they experience that these women don't listen.
We listen. I want to listen. I'm tired of being hard-headed. I'm gonna listen now.
Yeah, you heard that? She's tired of being hard-headed. She ain't say I'm done being hard-headed.
All right, I'm gonna go and play this clip real quick, and then we'll go to Jay.
Shining on them. The truth is, based on what I gathered yesterday, they don't.
Let me make sure I got this correctly. Can you guys see the clip?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, it's about right here.
As a baddie.
Oh man, y'all really want me to say something? First of all, I think it's somewhat predatory. A little bit, depending on the age gap when it's these older men preying on these younger women, because I'm just gonna call it like it is. You in your mid 40s, late 40s, early 50s trying to talk to somebody 25, 28. I mean, honestly, what do y'all really have in common? I do respect the fact that he didn't want that. He didn't want them problems. Because they different,
JR, question.
Go ahead.
Do you think that the word predator should be used right there though? Especially given what that word could do to a man's image and reputation? Yes, ma'am. Because technically they're grown up.
I did put somewhat, and I said depending on the age gap too.
So what's the age? You saying 40 to 25 is too much?
Yeah, a man in their 40s should not be interested in a woman that's old enough that he can be her daddy.
That's weird. It is weird.
Yeah, that's nasty. I'm sorry.
What do you really have in common with a 21-year-old girl and you're 47 years old? Like
she's still an adolescent.
Other than sex, her body. I mean, really though.
I got a question
who just said what? She is still an adolescent. She's still Brooklyn.
That's
a 25-year-old is still an adolescent.
No, we said 21.
Yes.
21.
Yes.
I said 21.
On what planet?
I said
all right. Adolescent. Somebody go ahead and look what adolescent in.
Sweeney, are you talking about 21 or 25? Sweeney, go both.
I said 25. She said 25. She said that's an adolescent. What 25-year-old is an adolescent?
When I said adolescence, when she said 21, I said she's still an adolescent.
21-year-old is an adolescent.
That I mean, medically, she still is an adolescent.
Medically where?
Not
okay. Do you know where adolescence starts at around 16, and I believe it ends around 24, 25?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any medical on that? Because I don't. That sounds like bull.
I do, but you can look it up though. Yeah.
Shout out to the closet baddie. I just want to make sure we know we looked it up. It was 10 to 19.
10 to 19 was adolescence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the actual age. Okay. See, I think once upon a time, like our parents' generation, I think that age gap is different from our age gap. And I think social media is a bigger cause for the age gap shrinking now, meaning you can have a 42-year-old male that has something in common with a 25-year-old. That's not I don't follow that personally. My personal age is like 10 years max, more so it was along the lines of what Trina said, 5 to 7 years. Within that range, that was traditionally what mine was, but got older, had no kids. So I'm like, I do want to still have kids. So I had to kind of come off of that and stretch it a little longer. Right now I'm at 10. But I think nowadays a 42-year-old or a 45-year-old, and I would say like a 25 to 28-year-old could have something to talk about. For one, women mature faster. Like you was talking about them dudes hollering at you. I remember being in 8th grade and at the locker listening to, my female classmates talk about college niggas that they was hanging out with over the weekend. And I'm thinking, I used to be pissed off at the college dudes because I'm like, dog, mess with your college chicks. What you coming over here to the damn middle school, high school to, take up our women? I used to be pissed off at that, but they were more mature. They had a lot of experiences thrown at them at a much earlier age. So like traditionally they say women are about 7 years more mature than men on average, as far as experiences, as far as what's being thrown at you. So you take a woman who's 25, regularly she should probably be dealing with a guy who's about, if she's 27, she should be dealing with a dude who's like 35. They'll be about on the same level if you're going by that standard. When you throw in social media and the access that women have to information, like I remember there was a time, like y'all was saying, what that 42-year-old dealing with that. There's some 27-year-olds out here that will teach a 42-year-old some shit. You know what I'm saying? Just off of the information that they had. They had that information when they were younger, but due to social media, you know, you got chicks in tune with their chakras. You got chicks in tune with so much more because of social media. And men, you know, we don't be tapping into that stuff. We don't be on the internet. Oh, how do I turn my body into a fire hydrant? How do I press my button? What's my G spot? We don't be knowing that shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit pop up accidentally. We be like, oh shit, what the fuck was? You know what I mean? Whereas y'all know. That's why y'all can instruct us on shit, because y'all a lot more mature in that aspect. Now, if you talking about like finances or something, yeah, we would be a little further ahead in terms of managing money, managing bills, but y'all have a lot more experience thrown at y'all a lot earlier.
Okay, I can agree with that. My only thing, and I do agree with that, because like I started with, I typically date older guys besides my situation right now. So my thing is this: once you pass that 10-year mark, right? You done entered a completely different decade. You guys may or may not have music in common, but more than likely, like, the music he grew up on is different from what you grew up on. As far as your palette, because you're so young, like, your palette is just completely like different than his. I just don't see like what you can really have in common with somebody 10 years your senior besides sex.
So do you like Nipsey Hussle?
Nipsey Hussle? I'm gonna say yes. I don't really listen to that much like rap music.
What about, you know who Mozzie is?
No.
No, let me hear.
Are we in similar ages?
Lauren London is.
I do know who Lauren London is.
See, there's the association. Like, see, we would be talking about, you know who Nipsey Hussle is? No, she gonna know who Lauren London is, and then we gonna connect. Well, you know, Nipsey and Lauren, they was in a relationship, they was married, and this is some of his music. You know what I'm saying? It's on that aspect because they have their side of the internet, we have our side of the internet.
So the thing I was getting at was, because she used the example of us not liking the same music. And I was like, we probably the same age or similar age, and I don't think we like the same music. You know what I'm saying? So I think some of the things that like be preferences as far as what we like as men and women, they don't have to correspond. But I do agree with you on the generational things. Like, certain ideologies come within a generation that may not be in another generation. But to teach somebody in a younger generation what your generation excelled at could be a benefit as opposed to a negative. You know what I'm saying?
So I have a question for the guys really quick. So we've been talking about like older men, younger women. How do you guys feel about like a guy that's 21 years old, taking a woman that's 45 years old really serious? Like, this is his woman. Would you guys have an opinion on that?
See, I think that's predatory because okay, so hold on. You said now Stella could get a groove back. I don't mind. I'm not hating, but if you think about it, women mature faster. So this 45-year-old woman is probably really like 53 mentally. If you bring in the experiences, you know, I think like there's a reason she got a younger dude. You know what I'm saying? Maybe cats her age, you know, is not as limber. You know what I'm saying? Doing them tricks, backflips like she want to. You know, we got hip problems and shit, so she might want to do some flexible type shit. You know?
So I got a question for you, but is it okay if you disclose what the age gap yours is? I don't think I heard. If you don't want to, you can pass on.
No, it's literally a year. 1 year.
Oh no, yeah, that don't really count. Yeah, that don't really count. So do I have a problem with it? No, I don't have a problem with it. But I would say that if he wants to have kids, I would have a problem with it at that point, unless they figured out some alternative method. Because A lot of times at 21, 22, 23, man, we might not be ready for kids or might not think we want them. By 31, 32, I think we'll change our mind. She might be out of the window to safely have kids or even have kids. So because we have different biologies, I think that would be the main issue. Like if I was to pinpoint what the problem would come in at. But if he never want to have kids and she never want to have kids, then
Like,
go ahead.
And she, because I know a guy that got a vasectomy early on in his life, and he was adamant on not wanting kids, and shit, he dated them all from his age. It don't matter to him. I don't give a shit. I personally don't care what it is. As long as y'all two grown ass consenting adults, I can care less what your age gap is. As long as your intentions are true. Now, if your intentions is to manipulate and all of that, then yeah, I would have a problem with somebody purposely saying, okay, I'm going to deal with a 20-year-old man because my intention is to manipulate him. Not I just want him to be the kind of man that I want him to be. No, you literally manipulating his life to where it would go at odds with what he would normally do if it wasn't for you. You know what I mean?
I have a question. So
Go ahead.
how would you feel about if y'all had daughters 20 in that age group, 20 to 24, and 45, 46 wanted to date y'all daughter?
Well,
yeah, I would say
Go ahead,
32, 33 is the ideal age for me. That 45, I said I didn't agree with that large of a gap. I would have an issue for my kid.
Yeah, like I would say for me about 5 years. About 5 years. And only because, and just to kind of answer you guys' question, like I've dated an older woman. I think I might have been about 23, and she might have been about 44, 45, something like that. And I understood what it was. I mean, there's no way possible because as I get older, she gets older. So you start to really think about it. Now it's beneficial for both because it's like, hey, I got an older woman, and she's thinking about, hey, I could bag younger men, and it was more so up on the like the sexual thing that we was really doing. But I do think older women do typically start to. I mean, depending on how you putting it down and depending on how she views you, she may still want to entertain a relationship. But I still think that she's in a mindset of like, what does he really want from me? I'm going to keep aging, and is he going to be good for me long term? So I don't think that it'll work. And it kind of tied into with the daughter situation. It's not going to work. It's like it's going to be a point where you're going to age out, and you're just not going to be relevant to what that person is dealing with and being able to move around and do everything. Kids is out the picture, period. I mean, if a woman is that old, I can see it. Now, I've seen older men get younger women pregnant, but that's still a bad deal too, even when Marcus speak about it, because realistically, he's not going to be able to keep up with that young child, and she's going to wind up doing it on her own. So 5 to 7 years, I can really see. I'm not encouraging that. I'm probably going to give my daughter the game based off experience. And realistically, we have to be real about this situation. Like, it's just not going to be able to work in nobody's favor, and especially with children involved. It's just a flame, just something to do, and get in and out, or just don't get involved with it, period.
So I got a question for y'all. The 7 years. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Let me answer the question real quick. So if it's my daughter, right? First, I don't see any reason why anybody over a specific age would decide to want to get married and have kids. So for instance, if you I know we're using the age gap as far as 45 or whatever, but I look at pretty much anybody that's over the age of 45 and I look at them and say, well, what is the point of getting married? You've already pretty much done it all on your own, right? So I personally would encourage my daughter to date someone within her age group. I would encourage her to find her husband in college. Why? That way that both of y'all are young enough to experience your children. Both of y'all are young enough to experience your kid graduating college. Both of y'all are young enough to see them through high school. Because the reality is, if you're 45, 50, the average black man only lives to what? 70, 75 maybe? So by the time your child is even in the age bracket to even get married, you might not even be there to see them to walk your daughter down the aisle. So I always personally believe in people getting married and getting together young, or at least finding your husband or wife early on, because that way you can live through all of that and you can see your child grow up. You can see them through high school. You can see them through, and you can damn near see your kid well into their 30s before it's your time to, you know what I mean, before God calls you home. So no, I wouldn't encourage my daughter to deal with a 45-year-old, not because I think that the 45-year-old would be a problem, but because I would hope that a 45-year-old would already have kids. And I don't want to have my grandchild experience losing their father at the age of 16 or losing their father at the age of before they can ever experience life themselves.
It's a random thing, but we all kind of agree that women mature faster than men, right? Why don't we view younger women the same age as the men as manipulators? Just out of curiosity. Because if she's 7 years the senior mentally of a 21-year-old man with her, theoretically, she should be able to manipulate him the way an older man could, right?
She does. You never got manipulated?
So my thing is this. I use the word manipulation. I was the first person to use that word. So I'm going to stick with it because I stand on what I say every time. So my thing is
So
my thing is this. Like, sometimes people don't even know that that's what they're doing. It's just naturally a lot of people are just going to do what benefits them. So, yeah, to me, I can look at it from the outside looking in and say, you know what, he's manipulating her. But to him, he's just doing what he knows is going to make him happy. You know what I'm saying? So his intentions to you might be like, oh, he has great intentions. Like, he's doing what's going to make him happy. Because we all know men are going to do what's best for them. Like, that's just what they're going to do. So it's not necessarily like he has bad intentions and he's trying to manipulate her. He's just being a man. And he's just going to do whatever makes him happy. And to answer your question, yeah, a 21-year-old girl, she's going to do what makes herself happy too.
Yeah.
Okay. One caveat to that. When men typically, like the men that are family oriented, they're not just doing what's best for them. They typically are looking at the whole family and doing what's best for the family. So the older men get and they mature into wanting to be there for the family, a lot of that is self-sacrifice. So it won't just be a personal agenda squeeze. I just wanted to throw that in. So we had that.
With the assumption that most men are good, I will agree with you on that. I'm not going to debate that. That's correct.
Right. That's why, I threw the caveat the good men who are mature. It's whatever percentage that is.
But most of them men not 45 talk to a woman in her 20s. I don't think the good men doing that. But go ahead.
So I did have a question for the ladies too, as far as you guys asked us about how we feel about our daughters dating. How do you feel about your daughter? Would you encourage your daughter to date older men?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't. I want my child to experience life, like just to do it with her age, someone in her age group, because it's just it I feel like she can learn with her partner. Like I wouldn't encourage it. I would want her to stay with somebody in her age group. That's just that.
Do you have the same thought process for your daughter that you have for yourself, or within the?
For myself, I mean, I wouldn't talk to nobody that old anyway. But like I said earlier, I like older guys. The oldest I will go is I'm 38. I will probably go to about 43, maybe 44. I ain't doing. I can't do. I'll be scared. I don't know. You might have smashed my mama or something. I don't know. My aunties. You probably fucking my aunties' friends and all that. I ain't got time for that. Great.
Trina?
Well, I don't have a daughter, but I have sons, and I have a 21-year-old son and a 19-year-old son, and I don't see myself dating anyone in their age range. I don't even want to hang out with them. Like, I don't want to party with my sons because he's old enough to drink. It's just not acceptable. So I know, like, the stuff that he's into, like, he hang out with his friends and they do, like, weird stuff. I don't have the same interest. It won't make sense. But while you guys were talking, I was researching. It says that it's alarming. The divorce rate is higher among the larger the gap, the higher the divorce rate. So in my mind, it's like, is it going to even be successful, like dealing with a person that young? Will it even work out? How long are we going to stay together? I'm
Could
always
you
learning.
put in the back chat what you was looking at so I could see so I could understand where you come
No, she's
from?
right. They said that the most successful age. You said this on the last show that the most successful relationships tend to be 2 to 3 year age gap, and then it kind of
Right.
shrinks as it goes on from there.
Ideas. Players fuck up. Players fuck up. Players fuck up too. You know.
Alicia, what about you? Would you advise that?
So I don't have kids, so this is going to be theoretically. Theoretically, I would tell my daughter to date someone a little bit older because typically, like, your objectives are going to start to match. Like, younger men, their objective probably isn't going to be to, like, take you as serious and, you know, all of those things. I don't necessarily think that every woman has to go through like this wild dating experience in order to come into herself. When I say you need time to learn yourself, I'm not necessarily even talking about men. That's aside from men. I'm just saying, like, put the influence of men on the back burner as well. But me personally, I would tell my daughter, like, date someone, you know, a little bit older so that your objectives match.
Why wouldn't they
I do have
objectives match with someone in their own age group?
Well, my experience of men, when I'm saying in her own age group, let's say my daughter's like 19 and she's ready to, I agree with you when you say like people should get married a little bit younger. So like, let's say she's like, okay, mom, I'm ready to start dating, ready to start like looking for the person that will eventually become my husband. I feel like a 19-year-old man, he wouldn't be there. So I would probably find it acceptable at 19 if she was dating somebody that was
No,
like 24.
I don't recommend anybody get married at 19.
No, like starting to look. No, I'm saying like she's starting to look for her man. So
No,
by the
I would
time
say
she's like,
I would say that 21 to 22, so fresh out of college would be the prime age that I would say that somebody should start looking and typically be married. That's when I would say that, because think of it this way: the reality is people tend to marry within a socioeconomic level, right? And that's how you see. But the problem is that a lot of people are waiting so long to even start thinking about marriage and things like that, that they wind up having so many other life experiences and things like that before, and then it kind of curves their ability to actually find a partner. So you'll hear women come out of college and they go on, they live their best life, and then they say, well, all the good men are married or whatever, right? Well, that's because if you want to marry somebody or date somebody within your socioeconomic level, you're more than likely are going to find them in college, because all of y'all are focused on it and going in the same direction. So, but if you wait till it's too late, you wait till, and then next thing you know, you look around, you're the only black woman in a building, or you look around and you find out that all the men in your building that you work with are all married. So if you want to find someone that you know is going to be on your level in 5, 10, 15 years, then you want to find that person in college, rather than, because that's the largest demographic where you're going to meet the most people in your life. You're going to meet the most diverse group. You're going to meet the most people in college. And then after that, your window of people that you start to meet starts to shrink. Because I've often seen women, they'll go on, and women move fast when it comes to life. Like, y'all will go out and graduate and get a good job and buy a house and everything else early on, right? And what that does is that puts you in a position where you move into a neighborhood, you buy a 3-bedroom house. What demographic of men, what do you think the demographic of the men will be in that area? They will typically be married. You don't see single men going out and buying homes to live in their 3-4 bedroom houses, just living in these like cul-de-sac communities, or living they tend to still be in the inner city. They tend to still be, you know what I mean, out and about, going to cigar lounges and shit like that. But that's normally in like the downtown areas and stuff like that. You don't see that. But women would move into these areas and then be like, well, shit, I got to go to Home Depot to find a man. Well, all them men are going to be married. If you look around you seeing families, you moving into these neighborhoods built for families as a single woman, and it doesn't work out for you.
I hear you and I agree. However, I do have a question. I have a question. So, okay. As men, right? If you choose to date a woman 15, 20 years your junior, can you honestly say that your reason behind dating her is completely like, well, I'm just, for example, I know you guys said you went through that. Like, it's innocent. It has nothing to do with the fact that you want to mold her into who you want her to be. I think that's our issue, is that you like, it's a self-serving thing that you're doing. It has nothing to do with her becoming the best woman and your intentions are good. That just doesn't seem natural. It don't make sense to me.
I would say, to answer your question, if I'm married, so I wouldn't, and I got my wife at 20, 21 years old. But if men think like this, we're gonna bag whichever one is the baddest, best chick that we can find, whether that's 25 or 35, and she can give us kid, we gonna snatch it. Whichever one of those, how it comes out. So I don't think men are looking at like, man, I got to go find me a 25-year-old girl so I can make her my, like, no, we gonna bag if she's the, and it just so happened that the baddest chicks tend to be younger. You know what I mean? Now, 21, I agree with y'all. I don't think most men out here at 45 are seeking out a 21-year-old chick. They may get them, they may sleep with them, they do a whole lot of that. But as far as, you know what I mean? But I think a lot of men at that age is just trying to have fun, because most of these men tend to already have children. So, but if men just go after if we can pull her, we go, and it works out, then it works out. We're gonna go after whatever we can pull.
So for me, no, you got it, Jay. I'll go after you.
And I mean, like you said, you know, us on the panel don't necessarily agree with that. But I mean, if I can see how it would be molding the best woman for him, not for her, you know, for her to be the best self for him, not for herself. You know, I can see where that would be the case. I think circumstances where I have seen this are dudes who got married early and got divorced, like in their late 30s, early 40s. And now they out here. And when you've been in a relationship that long, a lot of stuff has changed in terms of dating. You know, a lot of the women that were available are snatched up, married, or just, you know, they not checking for you. You know, so you go to, okay, I'm married, I've built this, you know, I'm divorced. I mean, I'm divorced now. This is what I'm left with, but it's a lot more than the guys in that dating pool. Let me step down in that dating pool and date some of these younger chicks, because guys who marry early, they miss out on a lot too, in terms of just dating in general. You know, how it goes, what you got to go through. Like my friends that are married now, I tell them, dog, stay out of this. When I hear them talk that nonsense, like, yo, dog, if I was out there, no, nigga, if you was out here, you would be getting thrown around. You be getting ragdolled out here. Enjoy your wife and kids, nigga. Stay out of this. You know what I'm saying? It's not for you, because it's nasty out here, you know. But guys that don't expect to get divorced but get divorced, and they're left out here in this situation, and these circumstances ain't the same they were before you got married, bro. Like, it's treacherous out here. That's usually the guys that I see trying to dip their toe in these little 25-year-olds, and these 25-year-olds know that, and they like, oh, look at this little wounded deer about to tear his ass apart. Then boom, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, his ass on a t-shirt, you know.
That's wild. Okay, so for me, I had the same expectation for any woman I date, and that would be for her to be molded to me. I got like specific taste, specific ways that I would like to conduct conversation, conflict resolution, goals, dream building, just in general, a specific type of philosophy, right? So no matter the age, I would plan to do the same thing. So it's universal across the board.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and answer the question too. I'm still within that 5 year. I think 5 year. I'll kind of encourage people to explore marriage if you're going to explore it before the age of 30. And you guys spoke about it. You got to think about how much trauma people experience. I mean, if you've been dating and you in your 40s, both men and women, you have gone through a lot of trauma. Obviously, using relationships and it didn't work out for whatever reason. So the earlier you guys can go ahead and attack that marriage, and y'all can kind of build together, and you don't have too much to really compare to as far as what's better than this. So I agree with Sweeney with the 21, 22. I think you should really be starting to consider not putting miles on you mentally and physically. And then like the older you get, because even at my age, if you're single out there, you start to understand that most women you meet, that they're gonna have kids. And if they don't have children, then it's like a gem. It's like, wow. But then you also question it too, okay, well, what's wrong? Why don't you have kids? Because most people at this time have kids, and why are you single? And the same thing with women. Women question men and say, well, why are you single? You know, what happened with your last relationship? And if they're truly open and honest, then you'll find out that they have been experiencing trauma, and the reason why they're in that situation that they're in now is because they just ain't able to figure it out, or they haven't felt somebody that was willing to be in that mix. I mean, most people want people to come whole, and if you experience all that trauma, a lot of people ain't going to therapy. A lot of people can't hash out whatever trauma that they had in their past. So now we just all walking around. We just all walking projects at this point. So the earlier you're able to get it together and figure it out, and I do think men should go a little bit younger, depending on the situation. I'm not saying that they have to, but women do mature quicker than men if we're gonna go that route. So like 3 to 5 years is a good range. Then that way that man's able to get on his feet, do what he need to do, have a better outlook on life. And then the women that's coming in, they don't have too many miles on them mentally or physically. And then maybe we can put them people together, and then it amounts to something great. So that's my thoughts.
Then I want to go back.
I want that just quick thing. I also when I speak about how a relationship goes, I want to make sure the caveat is always added there. I'm speaking about healed, healthy people moving forward. So when I'm talking about the plan that I'm gonna orchestrate, or the program that I orchestrate within my relationship, part of that will involve me helping you work through any of the past things that would create conflict and issues that will prevent us from being able to operate in the way that I want to operate. And the less negative experiences you've had with men, the better.
Y'all ever heard the term like the hero hangs around long enough to become the villain? That's how I look at dating. Like, you're young, you got hopes, you got dreams, you have morals that you fresh out of, and you don't get married. And then you slowly, through all these traumatic experiences, dating, breakups, heartbreak, lights cutting off, repo your car because of some dude, ruin your credit, whatever. Then you start to become the villain because you out here, you single. Everything you stood for and stood on, you've just seen collapse in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So now your mind start playing tricks on you. You like,
Go ahead, Kyle.
And earlier I was telling them I have that issue where I do have that where I don't want to date, but I'm open to date. But I've had that trauma from past relationships. I have my morals too as a woman. I know how to be submissive. So I wouldn't be the villain in my next relationship. I just know how to move forward in the new relationship, meaning you got to win sometimes. And a lot of people say, well, I hear people say, well, you need to kind of know who you date. And I always, that same people in sheep, the wolf in sheep clothing, that's real, because a person can put on a mask and you don't know. I feel like once that window and that guard is down, and as a woman, I feel like you got to be, if me and you date and I want to have my soft girl era, I want to be able to relax and not worry about anything. However, men tend to see that and be like, okay, her guard going down, now this is a whole nother man. And it's like, you can't really you be like, damn, when I'm ever going to meet somebody that's really genuine, just like me. It's the person, it's you don't know who is who nowadays, especially in this dating pool. So even with me, I don't tell people like you should have knew who you was dating. No, because people are masked, like for real. It's a whole nother person under who comes to you in face. So my thing is like, I'm not finna play the villain, because if I meet a man that's got good intention and want the best for me, I'm going to be me. Like, oh, I'm finna dog you. I'm finna take your money. I'm finna take your ass through hell. Oh, nigga, I'm finna be on your homeboy. No, I'm gonna give the energy that you give me.
So I do have
We
another
all
question.
villains.
Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No, I just said Kaya, we all villains.
Nah, we angels over here. I don't know what she's talking about. We
We
still
all villains.
heroes.
Nah, they villains too.
Because
Nah, we heroes.
once upon a time, Melissa, you wouldn't even know how to be a villain. You understand what I'm saying? Like the hero stage, you don't even grasp the concept of villain. But once we go through these different things, that it's just in us. You know, she said she wants to be in her soft girl era. She wants to, like, I want to be sweet. I really want to. But if this nigga, you know what I mean? Like, she gonna turn into the villain gonna come out.
Yeah, but that's because I'm giving you positive energy. I'm being real with you. I'm not doing nothing to make you. I'm being loyal. I'm not playing no games. So hell yeah, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck wrong with you? Like, bro, like I can't sit there and be like, baby, why? That's when them niggas start like taking you. Bitch, I'm finna tie you up on the back of my truck by the back of your wig. Bitch, you finna ride this highway.
What?
That's
What kind of?
I think my issue is that y'all think just because women have like different experiences, once they hit a certain age, that they're automatically like tainted, and a woman in her 20s is way more like clean. It's like these girls, especially these new school girls in their 20s, they ain't cleaner than some of us in our 30s. They're not less tainted than some of us in our 30s. So that sometimes is like a trigger for me, because it's like, yes, I've dated before. Of course, I've dated in my 20s, but I had great experiences too. Like, I'm not tainted from my dating experiences from my 20s.
Well, I don't know. I can say that you probably are if you look at it. Any time a man dates a younger woman, that he got to be that it's a predatory nature to it.
I said
that brings me to my next question. Okay, I have a really quick question. So it would be different, not Marcus's example where like you go to the club, you meet a girl in her 20s, you guys hit it off. That's different. My question is, as a man, you don't see it as a red flag if like one of your homeboys in his I'm gonna stick with 40 for my point. One of your homeboys in his 40s only dates 20-year-old women, like women in their 20s. Would you guys see that as a red flag as a man?
My personal friend, yeah, if he was doing that, I would be like, dog, what's really good with you? I would look at him a type of way, you know, especially if he was in my circle, because I'm like, where did that come from? That young, you know what I mean?
I don't see the reason. All right, so the whole entire reason why this panel came up, right, is because I asked because of the question of what do these two people have in common, and Jay actually spoke to this a little bit. He said the internet pretty much shrunk the age gap, and I wholeheartedly believe that. I think with online dating and things like that, because I think it shrunk the different the chasm that was between your typical 45-year-old and your typical 21-year-old, which Melissa, you actually kind of spoke to that as well. Like, these young girls are coming out with just as much trauma, and I would say if they can come out with just as much trauma, they can also come out with just as much experience. They can also come out with just as much knowledge, right? So these women, we're all rolling in the same circles now. You start to see 25-year-olds be able to sit there and have the same conversations and jump in conversations with us, and we're in our 30s, you know what I mean, 30s, 40s plus. I'm only 30. I'm 33. I don't know how old JR is, but we're all literally on this panel. JR's 56. So, like, if you notice that the gap between us is actually shrinking with the internet. So you're starting to see 25-year-olds with almost as much to offer to conversations, almost as much to offer to relationships as a 41-year-old or a 35-year-old woman. So me seeing somebody and seeing them date 21-year-olds now, there's a difference between dating 20-year-old women or 20 women in their 20s and purposely going out your way to say, I would only exclusively date, right? And that's kind of how I look at it. Like, and I think that's a problem with anybody who says, well, I will only exclusively date this particular type of person. then at that point I'm asking, well, what kind of trauma did you experience where you can't date outside of that realm? Well, what kind of issues did you experience with where you feel like the only person you can ever date is a 25-year-old, is a woman in her 20s? You know what I mean? Just like I seen women who say, well, I would only date a 45-year-old man. Well, what's wrong with the 20? What's wrong with the man in your age gap? What's wrong with them? Oh, well, they're immature. They're this. Well, just because you experienced a few immature men doesn't mean that men in your age group are not mature enough to maintain relationships.
And I usually always tell people, do everything that you want to do while you're in college or while you're like, I would say under 25. Do, experiences. Try everything. If you want to try it at that time. Because I say you don't want to be a dude with a wife and kid in the backyard hiding from your family, smoking weed or popping pills, whatever you into. But see, when you're an older dude and you go back to the 21, you know what I'm saying? Like with my friends, like the example you gave, Alicia, I'm not trying to pick my nigga up from the emergency room because this 21-year-old had this nigga popping gummies and he don't know, like, dog, you can't eat the whole body. You just got to bite the head. Like that's young people shit. You know what I'm saying? This nigga in the emergency room because he done ate too many damn gummy worms. Yo, like, what happened, bro? Yeah, we was popping gummies. Like, come on, fam.
I see that as the same. Like, if I did see a man talking about he's out here and you see him pretty much with a bunch of 20-something, normally their lifestyle tells you exactly where they at. These also tend to be the men that dress a little bit younger now. And these are mostly the men that have already experienced divorce, so they go back out there. So what they do is, you notice that they start riding on motorcycles and shit, and they basically trying to live, they're basically trying to relive what they missed. I don't think a lot of them are taking 20-year-old women seriously, but I also don't think that they're really taking dating serious at that point either.
And that's my thing. I don't think I had this conversation too. Like, people don't take relationships serious. So it's just like it's nobody want to date. I know on one of our episodes, Trina was saying it was like Shivalry is dead, and I was like, I all I knew was a guy opening the door. I wouldn't know the name of it, but nobody don't take dating serious. It's dating backwards now. It's like jump in the bed. Yeah, I'm gonna move with you, and then we're gonna figure out if we want to be together. And it'd be like, what the fuck? I don't want to do this dumbass dating backwards ass shit. Like, we broke up in 3 weeks. People break up literally in dating. Well, I ain't gonna say break up, but people stop talking in the course of 3 weeks. Like, because they don't know what they want. They just go date backwards. And I think that has a lot to do with social media too, because everybody want what they see online and they just want to jump in and hurry up and get it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this too, is that I don't think chivalry is dead because even some of the men that don't necessarily exercise that type of behavior, I see they only do it with certain women. Men know when they got a good catch or a good gem or a woman that's exuding some type of behavior that's above the rest. And those are the type of women that do still experience that chivalry. So you have to start looking in the mirror or looking at yourselves and asking, are you that woman? Like a lot of women, they are mimicking everything that they see on social media and like that behavior that doesn't say that you should get this type of treatment. And unfortunately, like men do, they gauge because if a woman is challenging this man and he really want her, he gonna do some things that possibly that he not used to doing. Like if he know that she's a real woman, he gonna open up the door for her. But if he know that she carries herself a certain way, then she ain't gonna get that treatment. So I think women have to start looking at themselves and understanding, like, are you that woman worthy enough to be treated that way? And you can't fault the men, especially when you're carrying yourself just like the rest of them.
See, this is where me and you fall out. See, this is where we start beefing. Because I don't like when women have to determine their value based on the actions of a man. I'll say for me personally, I carry myself based on not even my personal opinion. This is feedback that I've received from almost everybody I encounter. Like, you so sophisticated, you so well spoken, you're so sweet, you're so kind. You like all great things. Of course, I have my ways too. But for the most part, I get positive feedback on how I carry myself.
Can you
So
describe those ways?
why you want to be negative?
I'm
It's not being negative. It's just that's an excellent question, Mark.
can you describe those ways? Because you might tell yourself in this answer. What are those ways?
No. So when I say I have my ways, I can get a little emotional. I'll be honest. I can get a little emotional. But this
Oh
is
hell.
okay. Let me land. Let me land
How
real quick.
how emotional is a little emotional? Like, oh, you disappointed me, or nigga, you better get your shit and get out my house, or motherfucker, I'm gonna beat your ass. How far
Or
does
I'm
this
gonna tear up
emotion
your
take
shit.
you?
Or
It's like in
Yeah.
between. It's like in between the last two.
oh hell no. Talk about some man. Come on, man.
No, but we're saying opening the door. We're talking about chivalry, opening the door, and all of the good things. If I'm emotional about you, we've been together for a while. Trust and believe. We've been together for a while. And I will say, like, with all of the great things I've heard, it has not been easy to find like a guy that is like chivalrous. It's just not. And I don't know if it's like you guys say, the influence of social media where they don't really have to do that. They're assuming everybody's a city girl, or if it's just they didn't have a father in their lives. I don't know what it is, but that doesn't mean that I need to look at myself because you don't know how to properly treat a woman.
So you
Let
said
me just
something
say,
interesting.
she's smooth with it, Sweeney, because
Yeah,
she said
she tried
that
to skate right
she
over that.
she tried to jump right over. If I'm acting that way, it's because we've been together for a while, as if that wiped the slate clean. You funny as hell. That's all. I just we caught that,
Uh,
by the way.
so you said something interesting, right? You said you don't think that a woman should have to display a certain type of way to get treated right, right? Or something along those lines. You said a woman
No.
shouldn't have to. You said that's what you believe, right?
No, what I'm saying is I use myself as an example. I display myself very, very well, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I receive chivalry from men. I was going off of what he said earlier, where he was like, "Oh, maybe you need to look at yourself if guys aren't being chivalrous."
Right, right. So and then you followed that up and was like, I don't believe you was like, I don't think a woman should that's where you said y'all had a problem was I don't believe a woman should have to show a specific type of thing to get chivalry in return or something like that, right? You believe that that shouldn't
I
come
do
with
think a woman needs to carry herself a certain type of way. Period. Like she needs to carry herself with class, sophistication, grace. Period.
fair. So
Okay.
if you saw a man out there, right, and he was dogging women out. He was cussing them out, acting a fool, smashing left and right, no rubber, getting girls, you know what I mean, making babies all over the place. And he came out and was like, I deserve, or I need a woman to be submissive. I need her to be a lady, and I shouldn't, you know what I mean? And she should be able to come in and cook my breakfast, and I deserve that. What would you tell that man?
I would tell him to go directly to hell.
Hello,
However,
with gasoline draws
All right.
on.
The reason why I asked this is because chivalry is the act of a gentleman.
gotcha.
And in order for a woman to get the chivalry from a gentleman, she must also be a lady. I'm not saying she must first be a lady, but she must also be a lady. So the same way you would tell a man that's acting a fool out here that, hey, you need to go to hell with those type of expectations. That's the same thing we would tell a woman that's out here wilding out and she's saying, I deserve men to be gentlemen towards me. Men understand that's what JR was speaking to was if we see women out here acting a fool and acting wild, you're not gonna get the gentleman treatment. You're gonna get the mirroring of your behavior. You
I
attract what you are typically.
Go
I'm
ahead,
on
Kai.
the fence with that
Of
because
course you are.
you can still carry yourself like a lady. But hoes is winning, and nigga love the easy girls, the $40 bitches, the bitches who throwing their ass as soon as you say hey. So with a woman like us who carry ourselves, I know I'm fun. I like to have fun and dance, but that don't necessarily mean I'm not a woman. I carry myself with a lot of class. I know how to act in public, But my thing is, if you got to also be a gentleman. So if you know how you coming up to me, just because you dealt with Heather and she a slut bucket, don't mean you gonna come over here to Kaya and think I'm finna be a slut bucket too. Like, no.
But I would say,
Hold on.
Real quick,
Let
I
me
think I gotta stop. Mhm.
let me say this real quick, because whether we like it or not, there is a standard that's been set, and we have no control over that standard, whatever it may be. There's a standard in most people's minds of what a true lady appears to be. Some of the things we can look at is look, tone, and look, tone. My mind went blank, but there's a standard, and so while people may think that they appear to be this way and they deserve this, it doesn't mean that it's the reality of it, right? Now, every person, every individual is different in how they look at as a woman, but there's also a standard that has been set. We didn't set the standard, like really, like society sets it, just like wealth. Like society suggests who's wealth, who's famous, who's popping, who's not popping, and you can think whatever you want to think. And at some point in time, somebody may tell you that you're delusional. We got people all day say, "I'm fine on this, I deserve that." Well, society doesn't suggest that. So you can either be in the middle of that, think what you want to think, or just be delusional. But everybody that says that I'm this woman, I deserve to be this way, it doesn't necessarily mean that the world view you that way. It doesn't mean that the individual view it to be that way. But you got to first have an understanding of that, a grasp of that, before you can really say if you are this person.
Let me remix it. If you get you out at a bar, right, and a girl bump into you, do you and look you up and down crazy, what is your response?
Excuse you.
And if she says, "Excuse you," then what do you say?
Who you
I'm
talking
gonna
to
keep
me?
on. I'm not.
I
Yeah.
ain't paying you no attention because
I don't.
you.
I'm not entertaining it.
Yeah, like
Oh,
excuse you, and that's that. I'm not finna go back and forth with you.
okay.
she
I was
busted off out of
my
here with the
question was,
bottle.
would
You
you
know what?
ever like would you throw hands in any scenario? Is that off the table or is there like
I'm not fighting nobody.
okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's off the table. I guess
Okay.
my only pushback was I am who I am regardless of who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I can choose to have you in my space or choose not to have you in my space. So I'm not going to be this great, amazing, classy woman with one guy, and then the next guy I'm a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like I am who I am regardless of who you are. So if I'm a man and I open the door, that's what I do. I open the door. I'm a gentleman. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, I seen her shaking her ass on social media, so that bitch could open her own door." No, be who you are, regardless of who I am, and just decide whether or not you want me in your space. I guess that
I
was
mean,
my only.
but he may not discover that until he's actually on that date or as he getting to know you. So I'm not saying that it's right for him not to do that, but you just got to be real about it. Like when people start noticing different things, you start to treat them. If you notice a guy's on BS, he ain't trying to buy you that drink, then you might just start just kind of like ignoring him. Like, yeah, I'm a girl that's calling me. You're gonna try to get up out of there. So you can't be upset for the. It's all about self awareness. Are you self aware? Are you self aware about about how you really present yourself? Because I see people all the time. If you're self aware, then you're understanding that there is a standard. Like you can't get away from this standard of how most people view things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to dumb yourself down, but you have to be aware that this standard exists. And you could be close to it, above it, or you could be under it. You have to be real about how the world views things. It has nothing to do with, it's not personal. Usually you take it personal because you're thinking they're trying to change you, this and that. That's why people code switch. I can't tell how many times when people get that business call, you hear a different voice. Most people do it, but y'all are self-aware about what time it is when it comes to get that job because you need that. If you want love, sometimes you might have to bend a little bit in how you carry yourself, what you do, but you got to be self-aware because you may not be in it at all. I see people just ghetto as hell and they present themselves in this manner and they think it's perfectly fine. and think it's perfectly fine to go shake their ass and twerk and do all this shit as a 45-year-old. I'm just having fun. All you lame as hell. They don't view anything wrong with it, but society deems it differently. And there are some people that align with how society is. There are some people that may align to how their grandmother was, how their mother was. But you wouldn't know that if you can't look and see what it is that person needs, what is that they like, how they feel about certain things. And that comes with communication. So all this stuff is tied in together, but you can't grasp all of that because you're so focused on they either need to accept me who I am, how I am, or they can keep it pushing. They can keep it moving.
And to add to what you just said, JR, because I think we look at this, a lot of us like to look at this on a micro level, so we like to center ourselves. So we'll say, well, I think that if I'm a person, like for instance, Malicia was like, well, if I'm a person that does this, then I will do it all the time, right? Well, but if you look at it at a macro level, predominantly you hear women complaining about how chivalry is dead. Why aren't men doing the things that they used to? Why aren't men opening up Carter? Why aren't men approaching? Why aren't men doing? Well, and that's kind of how we're trying to explain it to you, that if you was to see, and I brought it down to like make it easier to understand, if you were to see a man acting a fool, you would say you need to go to hell if you still expect the same results of a good man. And that's kind of how men, by and large, if you're looking at how men are reacting to the behavior of the women by saying, hey, look, we notice what's going on out there. We see how y'all are behaving. We see what it looks like on the outside. So men are adjusting accordingly to where they're saying that these women are no longer, a lot of the women, by and large, and this is according to them, are no longer deserving of chivalrous behavior because they are, like Kyla just said, hoes are winning. But hoes are still getting treated like hoes. Whether they consider it winning or not, you're still getting treated like a hoe. They're not out here getting treated like ladies. It's just easy because they're getting paid in the process.
I'm glad you went back to that.
Can you explain what hoes is winning mean? I was curious when you said that, like how they winning, like in what way you feel they winning.
Because it's like the good woman. Okay, so an example, I feel like, and I've seen it, the good woman, because she has morals, she's not jumping in bed with you. I can want to get to know you, but in the back of your mind, you want to go and have fun. So here's Susie, she want to just have fun too. You're going to go off with Susie versus trying to sit there and actually get them to know me. I might not want to jump in bed with you, but you might only want a fun time. This girl she don't care about getting to know you. She just want to fuck and go, just like you want to fuck and go. I want to get to know you. Let's go on a date. Let's take time to get to know each other. But all a hoe want to do is just get fucked, and you want to fuck, and y'all the best of friends.
Real quick, Trina, do you think hoes is winning? You agree with that too?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, some of them are winning, but at the end of the day, it's not like longevity. Like, I don't feel like it takes them far. They might be winning in the moment, but like long term, like a nigga ain't gonna wife no hoe. Like sometimes some of the hoes get wiped after they finish their hoe phase because they know how to do them little tricks that a nigga like. But I kind of want to go back and tie back into the age gap when we talk about like the chivalry, because I was dating a dude that was kind of younger. And he was saying that the girl he was with, because she was young and he was young and they were loving each other and they got together so young, he didn't know to open doors. So I kind of had to show him and mold him and like let him know I like these type of things. I like when you pull out my chair. I like when I get to the restaurant, I'm running late, you already ordered my drink because you know what I like. But sometimes
Careful, you're being manipulative.
no, I wasn't manipulating. He just said that the girl he was with never required that. She never required that. Like he was like, she just get a car, close the door. She didn't care. We ready to ride. But I'm like, it's a part of being a gentleman. Like these are the things that I like, because you got to learn the woman that you're dealing with. And if you want to be with me, that's the standard that I forgot his name. He turned his screen on.
JR.
But it's like you set your standard, because it's like, babe, I look look how nice I'm looking tonight. We're going on a date together. You're not gonna open the door. You're just gonna stand there and blow the horn. Like, come on now, make it make sense.
So Trina.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought you were finished. I'm sorry. I thought you were finished. I was about to congratulate you because you done made the case for age gap dating twice. You're the biggest advocate thus far. You said it's easier. And so I believe manipulation can be positive too, right? So what you was describing is positive manipulation. When you're like encouraging somebody to do something that's beneficial for them is also manipulation.
Right, he can take that. In his next relationship, he started doing things that I don't taught him how to do. Now he winning. He got him a good woman because he know what to do.
We in agreement. Molding work.
That's the benefit of a younger dude dating an older woman as well. He can come away with a lot of stuff that he can use in his age range. So I've heard.
Sounds like a personal experience over there.
Probably is.
But nah, another thing, like when you were saying, Melissa, when you were talking about, you are who you are no matter the circumstances. Like, I remember when I was younger with no kids and I was dating women or, just a circle of women. And then we come in contact like, okay, we kicking it for this period of time. And they would deal with me differently than they dealt with a dude with 3 kids, So you got this dude with 3 kids, they go do their thing, knock it out. When it comes to me, it's like, okay, no, my whole operation is different because I'm dealing with somebody with no kids. Like you just went balls to the wall with homie, but when it came to me, it was like, oh no, this it right here. Nah. Act like I got 3 kids too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Treat me like that. You know what I mean? Don't treat me special because I don't have kids. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking, but they would change their whole operation up.
So back to the hoes is winning thing. Do you think it's easy for y'all to distinguish between attention in the moment? Meaning, when you I understand what you're saying when you're saying hoes is winning because they receiving all the immediate attention, but you still make the distinction that they more than likely not gonna get the long-term attention, which is ideally what women would like is a relationship. So my question is like, how do y'all make in your mind how do y'all translate that to winning? Because how do you translate that to winning on a scale where it would bother you or even be worth thinking about? You kind of understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. My thing is like, what do women want? Like marriage aside, marriage is the only way that you would say like hoes not winning because they probably not getting married. So we're gonna put marriage to the side. The other things women want: time, attention, money. Well, I won't say money, resources. All of those things, right? When you say hoes are winning, it's like, okay, if I want to be a lady and I want to wait and, I want to take the time to get to know each other. If you got a woman with a lot of my same qualifications and she not trying to wait, quote unquote, being a hoe, she ready to suck you, fuck you, do all of that stuff within the first week of meeting you, she's going to get those things outside of marriage. She going to get the time. She going to get the attention. She going to get the resources because at that point, it's like, you guys are exchanging what you consider value. So yeah, the hoe gonna win, and the one who want to take the time and build something and establish a solid foundation, she probably gonna get left by the wayside.
Well, don't you think so? And I get what you're saying, right? Because if you're looking at a hoe and she gets with this guy and she gets all the money and everything out of him, I believe the things that is worth is weight in gold in life is worth waiting for. There is no easy road to that. So I will believe that yes, a woman who holds those standards and things like that may have a longer road ahead of her, simply as far as that is concerned, as far as that immediate gratification, because it's worth waiting for, it's worth working for. Whereas the hoe is gonna get the $1,000 here, she gonna get the sucked and fucked and all of that immediately, but eventually one day is going to come where that's going to dry up and it's no longer the same size. It's no longer the same. If she desires something more than that, because there are a lot of hoes that don't care and they hoes to the end, to the day that they die, and they live that lifestyle. But I think what happens and where people go wrong at is that your mind changes at some point. What worked for you now doesn't work for you then. What worked for you then doesn't work for you now. So yeah, I get it that y'all look, and a lot of women say this. They say, well, I did everything right. I was the good girl. I didn't do any of this. And I seen my whole ass friend and she was getting all these guys and she was getting the money out of them and everything. But eventually you see your whole ass friend 10 years from now. She also got 3 baby daddies now working, working 60 hours a week trying to maintain. And while you may not have gotten your man yet, you may not have gotten a husband yet, but you also didn't get the trauma that she got. See, now she's traumatized from her whole behavior, but you're still at least winning in the aspect of you may not have the husband, but you also don't have the same trauma that she has, which is the multiple kids, which is the baby daddies, which is the she dealt with the narcissist, or she dealt with the nigga that was willing to pay for this and love bomber and all this shit, and then he turned around and whoop her ass later on. Because that's what hoes wind up encountering throughout their life. The longer you're a hoe, the more of that shit you encounter, and the more of those type of men you encounter. So she's jaded at 35, whereas you at 35, you may not have a man, but at least you got your peace of mind.
Have y'all run into any men that wanted to date you in your like early 20s that you was curving and they like late to like the in our age group now? Have y'all ran into any of those men?
I have somebody I wanted to date me and then like came back into play and stuff like that. And I just knew what kind of person that person was, so it just never would have worked. And I mean, if who would want to do that? Is dating somebody who still have that same mentality when I was 20?
I ran into somebody that I curved in my 20s, and I think a lot of people have this experience, so I don't feel crazy about it. But I can't say in my 20s it's maybe one or two people that I should have taken seriously that I didn't, and now I'm like, oh, maybe I should have took that serious. So it's nothing that I regret because I do believe, like, most things happen for a reason. But to answer your question, like, yes.
I did. I ran into this guy and he always wanted me, but at the same time, he was like the biggest hoe. So now that he washed up, he done fucked everything in Miami. It's like, you want me now. So now you want to, he asked me, he said, let's buy the house, let's get married. Cause I was young, I was a teen mom. He was like, I didn't know you was going to end up being like so successful. You're going to have all these things going on. I should have wiped you back then. But he was out there in the street. So it's like, now you want to get married, but he ugly. I think it's a missing side tooth. I'm like, I don't want him. I just don't want to do it. Like,
Wait. He got worse over time?
Huh?
He got worse over time, so he done lost a good
And
paying
it's like, I
job,
think
done
that's what
lost
happened
his
with
feet.
men. They be doing all this in they like younger years, and now it's like they looking for somebody to take care of them and love them. Like, nigga, I don't want you, because now you like, I gotta take care of you and change your diapers. I'm not trying to do that. Like, no.
Wait, how old
I was
was
kind of
this?
asking about the dudes you might have considered lames. Y'all went to the dudes y'all kind of wanted but had all the women,
No,
so
I
y'all
didn't
passed
want
on
him
them
back
because they
then
had
because
all
he
the
was a
women.
hoe. Like, he was like, no, but you said to do that we consider lame back in the day.
Yeah, like you was like, man, this dude a lame. I'm not really digging him. And then you see him after he glowed up a little bit as y'all got older. Do y'all have any of those type of men that you know?
That's what I was speaking to. Like, yeah, it's probably like one or two people that was like, huh, look at you, all
Mm.
grown up. But but the reality is like, I mean, that's just life. Like, I can say that with shoes. Like, damn, I wish I would have got those shoes. Like, it's just
Right.
life. Sometimes you overlook things. And I'm sure it's a lot of men who like, dang, like, I maybe should have taken Melissa a little bit more serious. That's just a part of like that whole dating like experience thing.
I agree. I seen somebody and I was like, damn, he look good as fuck. Like, the fuck I was thinking. I passed that opportunity up, but I mean, it's life. I It is what it is. I can get them if I want
Wait, hold on, wait a minute.
Period.
If you hold on, I'm gonna say this. If you can get him if you want him, then is he actually still is he 'cause- all right, is he single?
them. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you can always try.
Don't hop in them DMs.
She
Oh,
gonna
I ain't hopping in. That's one
Yeah,
thing I
don't hop
don't
in them
believe
DMs.
in. Hopping in DMs. You hopping in. If you hopped in a DM with me, you probably hopped in Trina DM. You hopped in Lisa DM. Probably you probably hopped in my cousin. Hell, you might have hopped in my little sister DM. I can't do it. I don't believe in a DM world.
Yeah, just like a picture,
I don't want to do that.
Let's read these super chats. Let me see what we got. We got Hank in the basement. Shout out to Hank with the $5. Thanks to Assured Men, JR has the second best beard on YouTube next to mine. Great conversation. Ladies, if you meet Hank, his beard is immaculate. That is very true. Enter the Black Dragon with the 5. Dated a 21-year-old last year. Age gap dating is nothing that older women paint it to be. She pursued me, rather vice versa. She trusts all my decisions. Enter the Black Dragon again with the 5. Her time with me gave her a sense of direction on what she wants to do with life and the options she has in school and life. She learned a lot from me. Eugene Steele, shout out to Eugene. $5. Ladies, if you want to date an older man, what would you look for in him? If you want to date a younger man, what would you look for in him? Are those things the same?
That is a solid question. I seen that earlier, and I meant to ask that. That was a solid question.
Okay,
Wait,
y'all
what's
want
the
to
question
answer it real
again?
quick? If you want to date an older man, what would you look for in him? And if you want to date a younger man, what would you look for in him? Are they the same? Are they different?
A younger man. Let me start with a younger man. I would definitely want him to be mature, where we can kind of have like good conversation. I don't want it to just be all fun. I want somebody who, because at some point, I don't know if we can go further. So my thing is, how can you handle being the role of being my man? So I need to know you can wear that and not me doing that. But an older man, um, consistency.
What does that mean?
Like, don't start something that don't finish it. I need you to start it and keep going, keep doing it. If you texting me good morning, keep doing that. If you checking on me, hey baby, how your day going? And sending me motivational I love those type of things. So if you're doing something that's positive and that's gonna keep me on a track where you like helping me grow, keep doing that. I like consistency.
What else?
Well, for me,
Is there any
Oh,
financial
Yeah.
oh,
difference? Is there a financial difference?
Trina,
yeah,
Trina,
it'll definitely be something financial.
Okay, cool. All right.
Trina.
If I'm looking for an older man, like I'm expecting him to come like already established. Like I've noticed that a lot of dudes in our age group, they don't have their shit together. Like they still trying to figure out life at this big grown ass age. Like, and I'm like, at this point, I feel like we kind of got to be like, if not, he don't have to be like making $100,000, but he need to be at least at that level. Like you got a home. Like a lot of niggas looking for help. And then if it's a younger dude, like you said, I'm like how you said, I'm looking for somebody that's mature, like somebody who can actually build. I could build with, who has their shit together, or at least they're in the process of getting their shit together. Like they're on their way. Because I don't believe the potential no more. Like if you got potential, that's just it. You don't have nothing else. But me trying to push shit into you that you don't have in yourself, and I can't work with that. Like you got to have it together already, sir.
and it's similar for me. Well, my thing is, it doesn't matter. Like whether he older or younger, I would want the same thing in any man that I'm dating. I wouldn't adjust it based on his age, to be honest with you, unless I'm just on like some freak shit and in my 50s and I'm talking to somebody way younger. Then it would just be sexual in that situation. But at this point in my life, regardless of the age range, I want, of course, someone who is a leader, someone who's spiritual, someone who's emotionally mature. um, I have a lot. My list is long, so I don't think y'all want me to keep going.
So to compound on top of that, right?
Yeah,
Do y'all okay? So for an older man and a younger man, do y'all grade them on a curve in certain areas that you know may not necessarily be a thing that they would have at that age? Or do you say I expect 100%? I expect a passing grade on all accounts.
you got to come
So
with it.
for example, a young man may not have all of his shit together, right? But you know what I mean. So you would grade him on a curve, i.e., give grace in those areas. But there's also an area that you may not. But there's areas that you may not necessarily give him grace in, i.e., keep it a blunt, performing in the bedroom.
Not necessarily, because some young niggas, they actually, to me, the young niggas winning. Like they actually like know what they want. They be like, nigga, don't let my age fool you. Like
Keep it
they
a
really
bean.
actually doing
Keep
the
it a
things that the
bean.
older niggas not doing.
Most of them young niggas is not winning like a grown ass 45 year
No,
old
I'm
man.
just saying I'm saying like young, not young like 21 young. I'm saying like 30, 31 young. Like they have their shit together. And there's some niggas that's a little older that's still trying to figure it out. And I'm like, damn, this nigga done show me more than a nigga that's like I'm 38. Niggas that's in my age group. It's like you 40 years old and this nigga still over here wearing Jabot jeans. Like, what you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, you over here trying to be in a club. You want to go to the strip.
Oh, now you gotta understand. Those are all outliers. Like a 25-year-old that got everything figured. 30. Well, first of all, I would say I look around and see 35-year-old people, and most of them tend to have life not necessarily all the way figured out, but they on the pretty much in the right trajectory as far as where their life is going to take them. They may not be the richest or nothing like that, but they pretty much understand where they at in life. The kind of people we talking about, what I'm talking about is that say you, because when we say older and younger, we're talking about the age gap. We're referencing the age gap that we was speaking of. So if you date a man 20 years your senior versus a man that you date 20 years your junior, what is your expectations for those two? Do you grade their?
We can't have a conversation because I'm not dating a dude that's 20 years my junior because that's my son age. No way, shape, or form. I'm gonna be dating somebody he hanging with that's only, but he's looking for weed and like I don't know what they do. What 21-year-olds do doing that? Like I don't know what he want me to do. Give him my titties so he can suck it. I don't know. Like,
what if he working your ass out over the? I ain't saying you got to be in a relationship with him, but what if he doing? What if he's scratching that itch that's how old are you? 30?
Okay, so what's next for me? That's just the icing on the cake. Like what else you like? You gotta be able to stimulate me mentally and like, it can't just be physical. That's not it for me.
So that's why I asked would you, because obviously we have different expectations for someone that is older than us versus someone that is younger than us. And that's why I asked the question about grading them on a curve. Because a person that if you dated someone 25 years just dating. We're not talking about you got to marry him or be in a relationship with him. You just some dude that was 25 rolled up on you at the bar. You find out he was 25, but that was after y'all was already vibing. You know what I mean? He can work your ass out. You know what I mean?
But I mean, who jumped that quick? That's what I'm saying. Like the whole dating backwards thing. Like I ain't gonna just jump in no bed. I'm like, how old are you? Like, I'm gonna ask you some questions. We're talking. I'm just not gonna be like, oh shit, we vibing. I'm gonna let him beat my back in. Let him take me to Pound Town.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. When I was 21 years old, I dealt with some older chicks, and when we started vibing, and they was like, "How old are you?" It didn't matter at that point because she was already vibing with me.
Because she just wanted you to bring her back in.
She wanted you.
That's all it was. But she didn't expect nothing else from me.
That's it.
So on the other area, she graded me on the curve. She wasn't looking at me and saying, "Hey, look, I need you to have your shit together for us to deal with each other." She graded me on the curve. She got me for what I could provide.
Strong arm, your third leg. It was one thing and one thing only she wanted. She wanted you to beat her back in and knock her screws loose and you go your way. That was it.
Not fair. But for if she was looking for somebody that was either her age or older, her expectations of him would change, right? And then at that same time, she probably wouldn't expect that 60-year-old man to blow her back out the same way. But there's other areas where she like, you better have your shit together because I'm dealing with you because you got the stability and all of that. So that's what I mean by, do you grade each group on a curve? You know what I mean? In the areas that they're supposed to have, and then other areas that you may necessarily be like, okay, I understand you may not be totally there in this area yet.
I mean, it depends on the area. Like, probably I would grade them, but it wouldn't be like a harsh grade, though. Like, it wouldn't be like that grading system where I like, okay, I can't fuck with this nigga no more. Like, it wouldn't be like that, though.
You're not even getting a grade at that age. Like, if I'm at this age, listen, I'm not even finna play with you. You're not somebody that I'm trying to date seriously. So if I'm talking to you, because we're not dating, you somebody who just coming through and going home. So you don't get a grade. You never even came to the class. You just over there.
Shit.
So you said that the guy that came through and beat your back loose, he ain't even got a shit. He already won the test. Then he done passed with flying colors. I ain't had to do shit.
No. Well, my thing is like, if my objective is like a serious relationship and marriage, why would I put you in my lineup? Like, I don't have you in my lineup of people that I'm dating. So like, and I wouldn't put you there if you are in your 20s. I'm grown for real. Like, no.
I ain't shout out to play with your ass.
Into the black dragon with 10. It is said among other circles that the 20-year age gap is preferable due to the fact that men hit their peak at 35 and women at 21. This means the family they want can be properly taken care of. He's referring to the ideal beauty precipice, the highest level of women, like attractiveness level, and men's earning potential. Is a fairly statement. We got AP, big dog, the accountability partner for the 5. JR, keep grinding. Much respect. Salute, AP. We got, okay. Enter the Black Dragon with the 2. Feminine women receive chivalry every single day. Hink in the basement with the $2. Calling yourself a fun girl is a red flag for most men.
I agree.
Okay, that's all the super chats. Let me ask y'all a question. So, did y'all? I know one of y'all thought we was gonna be the He-Man woman haters. What do y'all think so far?
Who said that?
Oh, that was
He-Man
me and
woman
Lisa.
hater.
We did think that. Listen, but no, JR told us like when we met, when we talked, he was like, "No, Lip, I got some good people." I was like, "Oh Lord, we finna go on this shit," and they finna be like, "Oh yeah, all women this, all women that," and I'm like, "Oh hell no, we gonna have to come hard on their ass."
Now that y'all
Pause.
got to know us, do y'all can we revisit the question with the whole all men cheat thing?
Y'all know y'all do. Why we gotta go back into details and tell the truth? We know
Wait,
y'all
you
cheat.
just said,
Maybe
hold on,
y'all
you
don't
just
He
cheat,
paralleled it. He's
but
saying if you
y'all
thought we
know
was
all
gonna be
men
away,
cheat.
if you thought we was gonna be away and found out we are not that way, why can't you apply that to men in regards to your previous statement about cheating? That was the parallel. GBG Sherelle, shout out member for 26 months and going strong. I was literally the first member. This was a great show, JR. Salute Sherelle, boss lady.
I would say this. Okay, the all men cheat thing. I don't think all men cheat. What I would say is most men that I have experienced cheat. So that meeting you guys and having a conversation that we've had, I can adjust my statement based on this conversation. I'm not gonna say all men cheat. I will say my experience of a lot of men, they cheat us.
I'm gonna say all men except y'all four standing
ain't
on
that
it.
a
Don't
bitch?
say that. Don't say that.
I
Don't say
said
that.
except y'all. Y'all don't cheat. Y'all ain't cheat. But the rest of them niggas, oh yeah, they dirty dogs.
I
And
can't
I think
say that because
what you saying, Trina?
I can't say that because I think all the men that we be more in love with, those be the cheaters. Like the ones that we don't really care for. Like I had one that was so infatuated with me, he never cheated. Like he would never cheat. Even though I was doing my own thing, he was like, "No, I'm gonna wait right here for you." And you know what I'm talking about.
God damn, boy, you can't make this shit up.
I mean, okay, yeah, okay. Well, I take that back because I got one that don't cheat, but I don't care. Like the fuck,
So I
I'm
think
gonna
when y'all
put
say
salt on it.
cheat, it's not like a man just out cheating every day and looking for different bitches. I think when we say like all like most men cheat, it's like over the course of the relationship, like
If the opportunity present itself, then they gonna go ahead and slide if they could slide through there somehow.
that's been
Yeah.
that's
Nah.
been the experience a lot of times. So I can't say all men cheat. I know some amazing men of character who have no reason to lie to me and they do not cheat. Like for sure. My dad being one of them. And he have no reason to lie to me. My brothers have no reason to lie to me. My brother doesn't cheat. Period. That's just not his character to be a liar. However, in my dating experience,
See, have you ever
Everybody
cheated
cheat.
on someone?
Your dating experience, everybody
Oh,
cheat.
now they getting too deep. What you said?
no, not all of them.
No, he said, "Do y'all cheat?"
Have y'all ever cheated?
No,
I
I
don't
don't have
speak
time.
English.
I
I'm
be
a
like, I
Course.
can't like.
I'm a
Of
Christian woman.
course.
I
Okay,
don't speak
I'm a
English.
woman
I'm
of
not good at
God.
lying.
I'm a woman
Black
of
women
God.
don't cheat.
Nope.
Y'all hear this shit?
God don't cheat.
Y'all hear this shit?
I
No,
am a child of
I
God.
just
They
I
will be
couldn't.
in that 13% when they asked that question on those surveys and they
I'm gonna
said,
get
have you
caught. I
ever
know I'm gonna get
cheated?
caught, and I'm not gonna regret. No, I can't cheat.
First of all, let me tell you why I can't cheat. In my mind, I'll be like, damn, I gotta fuck you, and then I gotta turn around and fuck this nigga. My coochie ain't even closed yet. No, I can't do it.
But
That's
have you though?
nasty.
But
I
have you
think
though?
the
Who
thing
said your
with
coochie ain't
women,
Uh,
closed yet? That's why.
Because the coochie ain't even closed. So if I have sex with you and then I gotta turn around, now you saying, damn, babe, I miss you. And then I'm like, oh my God, now this nigga wanna take me through Pound Town Avenue and I just left Pound Town University. Like, what the fuck? No, my coochie ain't even
Notice
closed,
how
so
she
I
compared the
can't
two.
see
She
you.
called one Pound Town Avenue and the other one Pound Town University.
University.
She already compared it. You know she done did. You done been
You got
down that
one
No,
road
deep
before.
I
in
did not. I
between.
do
You done
not
been
do
down that
that.
road before. She done already. She had two guys in her mind just then and there. I was like, yeah.
Oh my God.
One of them was beating my
Yo,
back. The other one was.
that nigga was Pound Town Avenue. You know which one was Avenue and then which one was University.
She had
No,
Avenue
don't
and
do me like
University in
that.
her head right when she said that. That's why she said it that way.
No, I didn't.
I think with women, we don't cheat because we be making it clear that we not in a relationship. Like it be like if we deal with more than one dude, it be very clear that we're not in a relationship with you. With men, it be like we together, we in love.
And y'all
Y'all
be
say y'all together.
delusional.
The dude be sitting over there like, I'm just chilling. And you be like, yeah, but
No,
you my boyfriend though. No, I'm just chilling.
no. Let me
And
tell you
then he go out
something.
and smash something else. And you be like, oh my God, I can't believe you cheated on me. He was like, we
No,
cooling.
that's not
He
us.
be like,
That's
No,
we
not
y'all be
women.
chilling.
lying.
Yo, he be like, we chilling. And y'all be like, nah, we go together real bad.
You
Oh
know, I
my
heard there was
God.
a woman on this panel that said, she said, once we have sex, we go together.
We go together.
That was her mindset.
And he
But
agreed if
no,
he had sex
no,
No,
with
he
her. If he
what?
had sex with her after she said that, he
no.
agreed.
I don't listen. Niggas be like, as soon as they still be in the cootie cat, and they be like, "Damn, you mad? You better not get." And then they be outside your window with the flashlight peeping and shit. No, y'all be crazy. Y'all make a relationship right then and there. As soon as you ain't even get out the coochie yet. No.
I ain't no dude
Because they don't
saying
False.
want
I'm in a
nobody else to
relationship
get
with a
it.
woman. That is false. That is
False.
accusation.
No, because y'all
What?
don't want
That is
nobody else
False.
to get
accusation.
it. So y'all be like, oh,
Felonious.
we in a relationship just because you don't want nobody else to get it. That's all that be.
Exactly. Y'all
That
be like, this my
False.
Who said
False.
false?
coochie.
Me. False. She just trying to let us know that she got a unicorn, and when somebody get in it, they want a relationship as soon as that's what
We
she's
want
trying
to
to
get
say.
married.
No,
That's what she's trying to say.
Y'all
is,
no,
nasty.
I'm not.
talking
Y'all
about
No,
the
but that's
dude
how
get up in there and
that's
be
how
like,
men
yeah,
be though.
you my wife now. Like, come on, ain't no
Yeah.
dude saying
That's what
if he
niggas do
get
though.
if especially if he getting ass
Let's get
and it's not even
married.
hard for him to get it, he not gonna claim her and be like, yeah, I need the only because that's not how men operate. We work hard for pussy, but if I can get the pussy, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, now you're my wife after I already got the ass. In fact, and y'all can probably agree to this, you get probably a lot of y'all probably experience getting ghosted afterwards.
who?
Oh, let me
I don't
jump off
get
this train.
ghosted
Let me
A
now.
jump
guy
off this
that
train. I
like
ain't with you, sweetie. I'm
for
not with you
example,
on
a
this.
guy that worked extremely hard and then once he has sex with you, all of a sudden he falls back. He no longer calling you as much. He ain't.
I
Y'all
could
ain't
do
never
that.
experienced that.
Sweeney, you been married for
Y'all
3,000
ain't
years.
never
Or maybe you
experienced
don't.
that.
I probably
Sweeney,
experienced it, but
no.
I'm the ghoster. I'm a ghost your ass, especially
Now,
if
now
it's
we said that. Come on, man.
Sweeney, no.
Yeah, he been at the
In,
game too
in a
long.
world where we constantly hear women complain about how men switch up on them after they get the box, now all of a sudden that men don't do that.
but
Now all of a
they
sudden they
do.
wifing y'all
They be
left and
act,
right.
but not
It's
only
not that.
ghosting, they act stupid. They be want to kill a bitch, take their head off, wear that Jason mask. Like, no.
This shit sound oddly specific. Do you date serial killers?
No.
Hey, she date
Sometimes.
niggas that be trying to go upside her head every day, every
She that
which
look
way, be trying to put her head between the washer and the dryer.
Kyle,
in
you
this
got
1
trouble,
hour
baby.
conversation, Sweeney, she talked about a man grabbing a bitch and putting a wig on the back of a car and dragging her down the street, cutting her head off
Choking her
and wearing her
out,
face as a Jason mask, choking her out.
peeping through the
God
window.
damn.
I thought
You
this
watch
was a
horror
judgment
porn too
free
much.
zone.
It's pleasure free, but we gotta call a spade a spade.
Right, Lisa.
if,
Tell them
if I
again,
got up
friend.
seriously, if I got up here and started saying, man, all these chicks want is they go over there and they start cutting your shit up, and then next thing you know, they want to take your kids. Y'all be sitting over here like, what kind of women are you experiencing that you keep every time you describe a woman, that's what comes out your mouth.
I mean, it's
You don't
some
even
of
like
them
regular
out there
killers.
like
You like
that.
you talking about serials. You like not somebody that get mad and shoot. You talking about niggas that cut faces off. That's a whole nother level.
Talking about
That's a whole
Really, my
nother
Hannibal
face
level.
Lecter
still
out
here.
here and shit.
Yeah. That's a whole nother level.
I think somebody like sleeping with you and ghosting you, like that's wild. I'm not saying that it don't happen to people, but it's just that's another level. What I do think a lot of women experience is like you sleep with somebody and then he start being weird, and it's like you're like, damn, I wish I knew you were this way before I slept with you, and it kind of fade out. I
What do
think
you mean
that
Yeah,
by weird?
acting dumb.
They flip the
Not
script.
Like
returning
They
what?
come in
calls,
putting their best foot forward and become
not
somebody else.
And
sending
then next thing they know, once they get it, they
maybe
all of
like
a
the whole
sudden.
love bombing thing, like the love bombing thing, that could get a little weird.
What, you mean like he love bombs you afterwards, or he love bombs
No,
you
love
got
bomb
the
you
box?
before, and then you just like, wait, I thought you said you had this in common with me. You know what I'm saying? And then you start asking him questions about it. He don't even know, like,
Oh, so the language. So Marcus, the language was the problem. So when I used the word ghosted, that was the problem. But like, but that's what I'm describing. A man that love bombs you, told you was the queen, mother god, and all of this, and then once he gets the ass, all of that stops.
ghosted is a strong word. I can't really.
I get it, but that's essentially what I was
change
getting
behavior.
to.
Change
Is
behavior.
that afterwards his behavior changed to where he's no longer. All of a sudden, you're like, this dude acting kind of weird, where he's not
Every
serious.
woman has experienced
Right.
it.
It's
Literally
some
every.
dudes that they just be chasing you. When you finally get an opportunity to like date you, then it's like now they acting weird. Nigga, you went through all this to get me to come out, and now you acting like an asshole. Like this isn't like
Because he got what he came for.
But he smashed. But it's like I let you get an opportunity to date me, and now you just not even the same person. Like
I was gonna say,
Because
it
he
don't
got what he
always have
came
to be
for.
sex. Like sometimes you don't even have to sleep with a man.
you don't even
And then,
have to speak with them. What you got? Like just to say you went out with me?
Yeah.
AP accountability partner with $5. I have definitely ghosted after the goal has been met.
Oh
Level
my
2
God,
boss
see?
defeated.
Oh,
Objective
you're a
complete.
bad person.
Game
That is bad.
over.
He done got that girl cookies and took her cookies out the cookie jar.
AP. I don't like AP.
Hold on, he ain't take it. She gave him. She put them cookies on a platter for him. He ate his cookies and left.
Well, I have a question.
I got Girl Scout
You
cookies.
meet a
Let me go
woman
get them.
and she's attractive, right? You meet an attractive woman, and you just know you're not ready to be in a relationship right now. You have a conversation with this attractive woman who was minding her business, going through her life, minding her business. You have a conversation and she say, hey, like, I do want a relationship. So you know you don't want one. You know she does. You still sleep with her. Does that make you like a bad guy? Right?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Did he tell her that he didn't want the relationship? He told her he didn't want the relationship?
No. Y'all never say.
He never said that. Then I mean,
That's the issue. I just thought of a joke in regards to this ghosting thing. If you date serial killers, what do you expect to be but a ghost?
Oh my God.
Marcus, put that one back. Put it
Hold on, put it back in the time. But because I'm thinking about what you asked, right? Because you saying that she's been dealing with this guy and not want, like, again, she wants a relationship, but he's not giving her one, right? He ain't wifed her, he ain't claimed her, he ain't did none of that. Isn't that by definition saying I don't want a relationship if she's actively asking for one and all he does is sleep with her? And then he leaves her alone one day or whatever, or she says, okay, I don't want to be with this person no more. But that's essentially him saying I don't want a relationship, even if he didn't have to say. But she's saying I want a relationship, and he's saying no, we just cooling right now. I'm just gonna keep having
he
sex
don't
with you.
say that. He don't. She's saying he doesn't say that.
He's just sleeping with her. But I would say that his actions would pretty much tell you that he's not interested in a relationship, because if you're asking for one and he's not giving one, then he's literally telling you he doesn't want a relationship because you've already vocalized that you want one.
If he doesn't meet you with the same, I do want to be in a relationship too, he's gonna play that as long as she allows him to.
For example, to go back to what we said earlier before we started the show, a woman that would deal with a man, like, because I asked y'all this: if a dude's begging you to go out with you and you keep telling him no, I'm good, and then eventually you say, all right, I'll let you start taking me out. You can take me out. You know he wants to be with you, but you're willing to let him take you out, despite the fact that you know you don't want to be with him. them two people are one and the same. They both getting what they want out the deal, and somebody winds up getting screwed in the end.
I guess my issue when it comes to having a conversation with men sometimes is that, like, as a woman, I can say like, oh, that's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Going out with a guy knowing that he's interested in me and I'm not interested in him, I think that that's not like a good reflection of my character. I probably shouldn't do that. But when it comes to men, when I'm like, hey, does that make him not necessarily a bad guy? But that's not a good thing to do to somebody. You're saying, well, if he keeps sleeping with her and she let him, then oh well, like that's not right.
Nah,
I'm
that's
just
a
talking about right
fact.
and wrong.
That's my point. Is that
fact.
because when we talked about it earlier, and I asked y'all about how would you feel if you were dating a guy and he didn't, and you knew that he wanted to be with you, but he kept asking. Eventually, you gave in, was like, "Well, I'll let you take me out," but you didn't have no interest beyond him taking you out on that date, despite the fact that you knew. Y'all were like, "Oh, I don't see anything wrong with that." So I just found it interesting that you brought up that question, because that's essentially what a guy is doing to a woman that he just sleeps with, knowing that she wants a relationship. She wants what she wants, but he's not giving it to her, but he's getting what he wants out the deal. And the same for that instance is like, you still got to want to go on that date for you to go on that date. Because if you don't want to go on a date, he tells you, all right, I'm going to take you to Ruth Chris. You're like, well, shit, I can eat. And so you allow this man to take you out to eat and everything. And then you be like, and then, oh, I'll call you later. Hope we can do it again sometimes. You ain't going to tell him, now, guess what? Thank you for the food. But guess what? You still ain't getting with me. Like, you're not going to say that. You're just going to be like, all right, I'll talk to you next time. And then maybe next time he asks you on another date. And then you'll think about it, be like, well, what are we going to do? He'll be like, oh, well, I was thinking about going go-kart racing or going to Buffalo Wild Wings or whatever the fuck people do when they date nowadays. You'll be like, oh, I could do that. And then you go on another date with him. And then after that, he thinks that, okay, well, cool. And you be like, oh, I'll see you next time. Thanks for the good time. And then it happens over and over again. That's how dudes wind up dating girls that are nowhere near interested in them, but they still wind up taking them on date after date, because I don't know if y'all know this, 1 in 3 women have admitted to going out with men just for the food.
Well, he need to take accountability. He know damn well I don't like him. He know I won't let him touch me. He won't touch me on the table. He can't kiss me. He can't hold my hand. He can't even like sit close to me in the car. Bitch, get over there. So my question is like, why are you thinking like you gonna get further with me? I already told you I don't want a boyfriend. I don't want to be with you. I don't like you like that. But why you still want to take me out? So let's go.
I think that's a fair standard. Just like when he be like, I don't want a relationship. I'm only coming over and sliding at night. After I nut, I bounce. As long as y'all okay with that. Yeah, it makes sense.
She need to take accountability. You know what I mean? I mean, shit. The man ain't.
You've
been fucking this nigga for 6 months and he ain't told you.
I'm not co-signing no line.
Them niggas be pretending like they want a relationship until they get what they want. That's the difference. That's not the same.
You waiting for that time. That's all he is.
Fair.
The dude that does that repeatedly, he's waiting for that time, that 1 week moment where one of your other niggas did something and got you.
And you can slide up in there, huh? Yeah.
And women know it, and y'all know that's what he's waiting on.
And he like, word? He did what? Oh, you don't deserve that.
You could just lay that on my shoulder, just sit it right on my lap. Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't suggest playing that game. That's a dirty game.
Essentially, the ultimate point is that we do it to one another. It's just different methods, but it's all the same. Essentially, it's all the same. And I would tell a woman the same thing if she dealing with a guy and he ain't interested in a relationship, but she keeps making it known that that's what she wants. Even if he doesn't have to say it to her for her to know that damn well that's not what he's interested in, and yet you keep sleeping with him. Stop sleeping with him. And I would tell a guy the same thing. She don't want no relationship. Now, women can be a little more honest, but I firmly believe women got to play the game to get what they want. So while you may have told that dude initially, you're not gonna keep being a bitch to him throughout that entire encounter. You're gonna be more nice to him, because like a guy's trying to take you out. So you're not gonna be like, yeah, nigga, take me out, but I'm still not fucking your ugly ass. Like, you wouldn't do that. You would be nice. You would be dainty and cute and all of that, and look nice and dress cute and all of that. So I would say the same thing to that woman, to that man. Like, hey, look, I get that she's being nice to you. I get that she's doing all this, but you know damn well you done been on 6 dates. You done took this woman on 6 dates, and she ain't slid on you once. She ain't bent once. Why are you still dealing with her?
So the AP accountability partner with the 5. Ghosted is the correct word. Never hear from me again. Freshly baked cookies. All gone. I just want to say y'all hated on my serial killer ghosting you joke. That was gold. I think that was like perfect. It might have took a minute to sit in, but that was perfect. All right. The AP accountability partner, $5. Last thing. The AP is married and has never cheated on this one. He is and always will be a good guy.
Yeah, I see you putting this claim in. All right. Well, with that being said, man, it's been an excellent show. I want to thank Timeout 305 for coming through. If y'all want to see him back again, just go ahead and put a 1 in that chat. If y'all want to see him back again or comment after this video. I want to thank you, lovely ladies, for blessing the platform with your perspective. It was very entertaining, fun, and it was just a good dialogue. I want to thank the brothers for dedicating their time as well. Jay, I love you, brother, man. Thanks for doing a two-peat. But yeah, it's awesome, man. I handpicked these gentlemen in particular, man, because I do like the questions that they ask and how they further the conversation. So I want to say thank you. Hit the like button. Also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out Timeout 305 as well. And we out. So y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.